Welcome to the Experience Live with Russ and Scott with our guests, April Wyatt and Isabel Fortin. It's going to be a good show.
Welcome to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook.
The experience is made possible by these great sponsors. The Aspects of Aging weekly talk show, unscripted conversations with experts, each week hosted by Christine Smith on AgingBetterNetwork.com. Nancy Bakke, transform your business's profit potential with proven strategies and tactics. BestEntrepreneurSolutions.com. Summit Cleaning and Restoration, providing specialty cleaning and emergency restoration services to businesses and homeowners.
And here we are live.
Yes.
Welcome to the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. And we are so glad that you're here today. Scott, you are coming to us remote from somewhere else today.
Yeah, we're in Waco, Texas this week, following up on some things that we started a little bit ago. So it's kind of nice to be able to do that. It has been beautiful weather here, warm, hot, I'll say, but rainy this morning. We got lightning, and I don't know, coming from Oregon, it's just kind of fun to watch. It's warm rain. But before we get too far, I just want to say I'm grateful to our new sponsors, Summit Cleaning and Restoration. They're a great business, as well as Nancy Bakke, and she can help businesses with just a little bit of words find thousands of dollars of income. Just an amazing person.
She is, and she's been a huge help to me, an amazing friend. And, you know, they all are. I mean, we are so blessed. I mean, Christine and the Aging Better Network is amazing. I think you know her a little. She's just an amazing person. And then Summit, there is a whole Christian-owned and operated business. There's an amazing group of people. They're friends of mine that work at Summit, and so thankful for them. Kay Marie, who works with us directly on the sponsorship. Thank you, Kay Marie. And then, yes, I'm telling you, Nancy is amazing, and she's definitely been a blessing to me. So, and today is a great new day. You know what? I always look forward to that. You know, I just want to say that I have experienced the combination of huge blessings of God and challenges all at the same time in the last 2 days. And what I want to tell people is, no matter what's happening in your life, and I've had health challenges, no matter what's happening, that there is greater things and more positive things that are also happening. And at the same time, I was down with dizzy and nauseous and sick. God was providing needs that I needed financially for something that I was a little worried about. I wasn't worried that God could provide it. I was a little worried about getting it to pay it. And miraculously, more than enough, and a couple new clients all at the same time. So it has been really a combination. And so what do you focus on, right, Scott? I just want to encourage everybody. What do you focus on today? Are you focusing on the blessings and the good things that are happening, or are you focused on the bad things that are happening? Because that's what we call life, right?
You know, it really is true. And there's a lot of brain research out there that says what you think about, what you focus on, that's going to wire your brain a certain way. And if you're always looking for the worst, you're looking for the worst in situations, the worst in people, that's what you're going to find everywhere you go.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And, you know, many have said it. It's the subtitle of one of Craig Groeschel's book. and that is change your thinking, change your life. But
Hmm.
if you focus on what is right, when I started my cancer battle, my doctors told me the number one thing that was my asset in my tool belt was my positive attitude.
Hmm.
And they didn't say, oh, yeah, if you do this or take these pills or these vitamins or do this treatment. No, they said my positive attitude was the best thing going for me. So just want to encourage people today, because the experience of life, that's what we talk about, right? Which we're about to
Absolutely.
talk about with Isabel and April, who are amazing. This will be part two
Absolutely.
because they were so good the first time, right, Scott?
Hmm. It's just going to be a fun conversation. I'm really looking forward to, again, kind of expanding on where we were last time. And anyone that listens to this is going to be encouraged. They're going to be uplifted, and invite other people in, because there are other people who maybe they're positive, but you can always use some reinforcement in that.
That's right. So please share and tag your friends. Absolutely. Don't forget, I just want to remind you, we're here every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. Yes, this goes live at 7 a.m. Pacific, but then it stays on the platforms LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube for infinity and beyond. That's right, forever, which means you can watch the video podcast forever and share it with your friends forever. Then it converts to audio podcast, so you can listen to it if you didn't have a chance to watch on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, whatever your favorite a way of listening is. And I want to
I like
remind
that.
you too that as Scott made this amazing, there it is, the amazing local.theexperience.video. Go to that today for more information on all this, local.theexperience.video. And if you want to go directly to our YouTube page, which we would love you to subscribe to right now, you can open a separate tab, go to the experience.video, subscribe today as we grow that page. So thank you for that. With that, I think we're going to get the ladies in the room.
Let's do it.
All right. And because we started this conversation last time, even though I'll have them both give a brief intro, we're going to bring them both in. So here's
Let's do it.
Isabel, April. Woohoo!
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Me. Good morning.
The crowd goes wild. Well, we are so thankful to have you two here today. And we're just going to start off with the basics for those who missed the first episode. April, we're going to have you first. Tell everybody, who is April Wyatt? What are you up to?
It's just a pleasure being here with you both, Scott and Russ. You've just created this amazing community of support, and that's what I'm all about. I'm a wellness advocate, and I really bring people back into their bodies because we're scattered, right? We're outside of our bodies, we're up in our heads, thinking about things, worried about things that we cannot control. And so when we drop in, as you perfectly described earlier on that first episode, Russ, with the podcast you were on with mine, becoming centered in uncertainty, then we can find that centered space. We can approach those challenges in a more present and clear mind, and that way we can flow through life a little easier. So that's what I'm all about. And also bringing in the breath, right? Where is your breath right now? Because that's what regulates our sympathetic nervous system. And this background is a perfect example because this beautiful space is in Bali, and it's at the Gaia Osha Retreat Center, and that I'm going to be offering a reset and restore your mind and body in Bali at this very space. So that's why I'm excited. I'm excited just to be here, to breathe with you all and expand with your community, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? As we come and play together.
Yeah, exactly. It is so much that way because, by the way, I just want to say a quick point that my daughter has been blessed. I think I told you, April, to be in Bali a couple times. And what an amazing place to be. And someday I will make it there too. But until then, Isabel, tell everybody, who is Isabel and what are you up to?
I am Isabel Fortin. I live in Montreal, Canada, which explains the French accent. And I am a team leadership strategist. Actually, you know what? This is just what I do, but who I am is I am the being that helps people be more of who they are.
because the world, you were put on this planet for a reason. You have unique abilities. There's no one like you on this planet, and the world needs you. That's why you're here. So that is what I am all about, helping people to tap into their unique ability, their zone of genius, to just show up in the world and be better for themselves first, because that's how they get better for the world. And
This
that's
is
it.
great. I love it. I love it. One of the things we talk about is finding the difference between result and motivation, right? So result is what people do. So you ask, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm an accountant. I'm a teacher. But as you delve into why they do what they do, you're going to find what that motivation is. And I
Yeah.
always think about, I was on a business trip and I came back. My wife picked me up at the airport. And so I'm asking her what she did while I was gone. And she built a fire pit. Well, that's a result of a motivation, right? She's not a fire pit builder. And they go, oh, congratulations. What a sturdy looking fire pit, right? The whole reason was so that our family could sit around together and create memories. And I remember a particular evening, we're out there singing songs, making s'mores, doing all those kind of typical backyard things. But the beautiful part was we were creating memories. And this is something that we want to do when we talk to people, right? Discover the motivation, not the result.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is so good. Go ahead. Keep going.
I was
yeah,
going to
that's
say, go ahead, April.
Oh, no, I was just commenting. That's the ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
That we all have. And Russ sharing his experiences and his challenges and still being positive and looking for what is going well in his life is just simply amazing. And then when he encounters somebody else, right, then he has that positive vibe and people are more like, ooh, who's Russ? Who's Scott? Isabel and her shiny purple hair. And I want to know more about you and all the things, right? This is what we're here for.
I love the shiny purple hair, by the way. And,
Thank you.
I think
And
it's a sign.
microphone, right? I
There
mean,
you
you
Yeah.
gotta do that.
I think
There's a current theme here.
it is. And I think it's a sign, Isabel, that you are thinking of being fun and positive things. I mean, you are doing something that makes you smile and maybe makes other people smile and just is fun. And, that's the thing in life is it is all about what we're focusing on, right? We move in the direction of our strongest thoughts. Another quote from Craig Groeschel, that as we're thinking about things all the time, we're moving that direction. Our mind is moving us that way. And so we need to be thinking about what we're thinking about, right? Right, April?
Yes, exactly. And it's really about when we have those thoughts, it automatically triggers an emotion. It hooks us. And so whether they're going to be, I'm doing air quotes, positive or negative, the emotion is going to stir within us. And those emotions feel so real that we really believe that is who we are. And
Right.
it isn't, right? Although when we are co-creating like we are here with these amazing people, I'm just bubbly because it's so exciting to be here with you all and the energy. That you can feel it in your body, is truth. And this is where you connect to your heart, you connect to your higher power, God. And then that's that beautiful ripple effect that I was talking about before. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead with that, Isabel. Keep going.
Actually, I love that so much, April, because what it's resonating with me is emotions are a way for your body to tell you what's going on with you. So when you get this rush of adrenaline where you don't know how you react and you get like overly emotional and you get, like all I call that being disorganized, right? For me, all it is my body saying, hey, listen, honey, you haven't dealt with this yet. You haven't healed this yet, especially when our emotion are exaggerated or overwhelming or when I call that a $5,000 punishment for a $50 crime, right? So when my body is like, what's going on? Like, I don't know how to deal with this. All it's doing, this is not who I am. This is not my identity. It's just telling me, hey, hon, pay attention to this because it hasn't healed. It's triggering something that isn't healed yet. So it gives me the opportunity. So if I trust the emotion at face value, I think I'm overly emotional, or I think I'm disorganized, or I'm not worthy, or I'm this and that and the other thing. And most of the times what we think about ourselves in these moments are not exactly positive. When you
Yeah.
look at the emotion for what it is, it's a tool. And then
Mhm.
I can go, okay, I'm going to give myself the 90-second to acknowledge that this emotion is there. I'm going to let it live, because when you give your emotions permission to live, they last 90 seconds. When they're acknowledged, they live 90 seconds. That's the length of their lifetime. And when you're done that, you can go, okay, so what is it here to teach me? What isn't healed yet? And then you can do the work on yourself.
Yes. And
Ah,
Isabel and April, I want to pursue this with you, because one of the difficulties that we have is where our emotions reside within our brains uh, does not have the capacity for language, right? And this is why we have poets and musicians and artists to help us get expression for those things that we feel. We tend to live in the rational side of our brain, and we
Mhm.
we we try to rationalize what we're doing, when what we've done is we've made decisions based on emotions, which is fine, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
But how do we learn more about our emotions and help ourselves express those to ourselves first and then to
oh,
others?
yes. Great question, Scott. Seriously. How do we build that relationship? Really, that's what it is. It's building a relationship with ourselves, not trying to
Mhm.
push those emotions away. They are important. They are part of us. They will never go away.
Mm,
But really
And we don't want them to.
recognizing, no, but recognizing who's driving the bus, right? Who's, just as you perfectly described, Isabel, about the overwhelm and getting caught up, and then remembering, oh, I have a choice. What feels good right now? Or how can I gain a little bit more, a comfortable feeling? I'm not saying you need to go all the way to happiness. No, you can't do that, mostly because of the momentum of those emotions. It's really hard to stand in front of that bus, because you're going to get run over. So when you can take your foot off the gas and just pause. And this is where I talk about the breath, right? Just, where is my breath right now? How can I breathe just a little easier? Where are my feet? How can I settle in? So that way I can witness these emotions for what they are, and discover more about myself and build that better relationship to myself. So that way, we're not running around projecting on other people because we're not feeling good.
I
Mm.
love that you're bringing that up, because the one of the presentations I do, and part of my upcoming presentation next week to a group of salespeople in the senior care industry, um, is all about connecting, and it starts with connecting to yourself. And
mhm,
because if we are not, the connection to ourselves is the beginning of everything, because we are projecting the challenges and all the other things that we're having onto everybody else if we are not truly aligned and connected ourselves. And I just think that's so important to remember. It's self care, or whatever you want to call it, is where things start, right, Isabel?
I actually, what, when I'm listening to you, the quote that comes back to me, Russ, is how you do one thing is how you do all things. So it's the same thing. The relationship you have with you is the relationship you have with everybody else. So for me to answer the previous question from Scott, it's all about self-reflection. So it's about giving myself permission to be mad and upset and whatever it is that I'm feeling, whatever the tool that my body is using, because I'm French Canadian. I'm hot-blooded by nature. So, but I am this way. And I'm okay with being this way. So I give myself permission to be that. But I don't let it control how I'm going to treat myself and how I'm
Right.
going to respond to whatever event. And the 90-second rule is actually, it's been studied. It is science-based. If you actually acknowledge the emotion for what it is, it will live 90 seconds. So, and once you know this, it won't even last 90 seconds because you go, okay, so I'm upset, and not using the right words, because sometimes we'll say I'm angry because being angry is easier than being sad. So actually truly going to the root of the emotion and saying, okay, no, I'm sad. This is why I'm sad. I have the right to be sad. And now that I've acknowledged that this is what it is, now I can look at it and I can go. But for me, it's all about self-reflection.
And
And
what
I
I'm
think
hearing
that,
too is
go
part
ahead.
of this is understanding the right emotion, right?
Yes.
So the example might be you're driving down the road and you almost get hit by a car, and you become really mad and angry and you're yelling at them or whatever. But the emotion is not anger.
No, the emotion is fear.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
you know why we go to anger? Because anger is powerful.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's anger. There's a lot of power in anger. But
Well, and I
fear,
think a lot.
sadness, all these things, that they're kind of overwhelming. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Russ, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no, I'm sorry. I was just going to say that, pardon me for cutting you off, that, a lot of it is too that we are not intentionally controlling our focus on life, and we're letting fear and insecurity and worry and all these things take over, and we're letting lies come into our brain.
Yes.
I did a YouTube short the other day on get rid of the lies that you're telling yourself, right? Quit telling yourself lies and start telling yourself the truth, that you have value. You were created to do amazing things. You have unique talents. There are so many good things in your life and so many blessings. I was telling myself that the last 2 days when I was feeling horrible and sleeping off this dizziness and nausea and sickness in the afternoons. And I was reminding myself of the good things that had and were happening while this was going on, and that this too shall pass. I will get through this. It's all the focus where we're at. And nobody likes that. I mean, I'll be the first to admit, nobody likes being in a crummy situation and being sick and ill and whatever. Nobody likes that. But that doesn't have to be your focus, right?
No.
Yeah. One of you
Exactly.
ladies take it.
Exactly. 100%, Russ. And as you were talking about that, it reminds me when you're saying the lies, we have these stories. We have these stories that our mind automatically just goes right to, right? We don't even have to think about it. Those are just embedded literally in those neural pathways in our brains. And when we start to rewrite, I say shift the script. Shift the script. I want to make sure people hear that correctly. Shift
That was
the
good.
script and literally rewire our brains. Now it takes time. It takes time and dedication and practice, and it can happen. And you are a perfect example of that, Russ, because those stories, that's what keeps us locked in those boxes, those limiting beliefs, belief systems I call BS. Little fun play on words
Love
there,
that.
because it keeps us small and safe. If
Mhm.
I don't do anything, then I'm not risking anything. And risk is growth. We have to do things. You have to get out of bed, Russ. You risk getting out of bed, even though you didn't feel that great. Isabel, other risks that you've taken. I've listened to you on your live shows, and you've done a lot, girl. So it's just all about putting ourselves out there and knowing that we can, we're going to survive, right? We're not going to die. Although our brains tell us, don't risk it. You're going to lose something. You're going to lose face. You're going to lose whatever it is. But that isn't true, right? It just keeps us protected. And that's all I have to say about that. But great conversation. I love it. Love this.
Scott, I'm going to turn it over to you after I say this one thing, and that is, I think that the thing that we lose track of when you're talking about the BS and the belief systems is we lose track of, again, all the positive things that are happening in our life in spite of the negative challenges, those negative things, which I think are a small portion compared to all the positive things. If I was to make a list of all of the positive, people say, oh my goodness, Russ, there's so much happening to you. How do you make it? I'm like, you know what? I'm not different than anybody else. We all have that list of negative things happening to us, but the list of positives goes on and on and on, because we look past the fact that we woke up this morning, that we're breathing fresh air, that we get to be with friends right here, having a wonderful conversation, that we have a roof over our head, we have a job to do, we have it just goes on and on and on with all of these. We can walk, and even if you can't walk, people that don't have the use of their limbs and other things, there's still so many positive things that they have. When you write the list, it just goes on and on and on and on. And I think people lose track of that because we let that small negative group take over our thoughts. Right, Scott?
It's interesting. We were talking about understanding the right emotion that we have, right? And that's critical. It's also understanding that everybody is going through something. And
Yes.
Chick-fil-A has a training video that they had released many years ago. And you can find it on YouTube. Just put in Chick-fil-A and everybody has a story. And it just kind of goes through one of their restaurants, zeroing in on all these different people. And it puts a little line on there that you don't know what somebody is experiencing, right? Whether they've lost a loved one, whether they're experiencing cancer diagnoses or their jobs or their relationships. Everybody has something, and they're going to respond. And I'll just say that Isabel and Russ and April and everybody that's commenting, thank you, and watching. You're already advanced because you are taking the opportunity to discover your emotions, to find the right emotions. But many of the people that we interact with on a daily basis are not. And we need to understand that. And so, April and Isabel, I'd love to hear your thoughts about that as well, because we interact with a lot of different people every day.
Well,
And
for
as
me,
we're going to let you jump in, because this is going to also be our final wrap-up comments, because we're nearing the end of the show. Being the responsible host, I need to keep an eye on things, but don't rush. Give us your answer to that, your final comments, and let us know how we get in touch with you. Isabel, take it away. Sorry for interrupting.
no, that's quite all right. Hey, this is a live conversation, so it's okay. Actually, for me, the best way to remember kindness is to always keep in mind that there's more things that unite us as humans that there are that divide us. It's just that our brain tend to go towards negative more easily. Well, it's the same thing in other people. So we tend to see their faults or what they didn't do for us or how they didn't show up for us or how, without taking under consideration that perhaps they're going through some bad stuff. I was going to say a bad word. They're going through some stuff that, perhaps they're just not capable at this moment to be all of what you need them to be or all of that you want them to be. So just focusing on the humanity of the people that you interact with, regardless if it's the cashier or the mailman or whatever, or your spouse or your kids or your business partner, just remember the humanity that it makes it easier, I think, to to be kind.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And Isabel, how does everybody get in touch with you?
I hang on LinkedIn. That's pretty much where I am. Not all day long, but pretty damn close. So Isabel Fortin, and if not, Isabel Izzy, sorry, at izzyfortin.com. So Izzy, IZZY, at IZZYFORTIN.com.
There you go. And that magically appeared below you and is all
Oh,
clickable, both in the
thank
comments and the show notes. All right.
And
April, you're up
Zeds,
next.
Zeds. I love the Zeds because that's a letter that we don't use in the United States.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh,
All right, April,
I
take it away.
I love, Isabel, how you said the stuff or whatever is like, shifting, right? I said, as I was saying, shift the script, making sure everybody heard me say shift instead of other things. And also, that's really what it is when we encounter someone who is definitely up in their mind and in survival mode. Shifting it back to me of how am I responding to this person? I have a choice not to judge them, but to see them as a person, as you said, the humanity, Isabel, and knowing that they are probably going through some times or whatever it is for them. And most importantly, and I hope people hear this with their hearts open, to not take that on yourself. It's not your responsibility to fix other people, to change them. You only have the control of yourself. So this is shifting that script of, oh, that person's having a bad day. And okay, so where am I? That's not mine, that's theirs. And how can I be more kind and compassionate to myself? Because something's activated in me because of their reaction. So we're all mirrors of each other.
Yes.
We remember that and really focus more inward on ourselves. Again, it's simple as, where's my breath right now? That kind of took my breath away, that person's response or whatever that is. You can feel it in your body. So where's my breath? Bringing it back to myself, and then allow to flow with the day a little easier. So that's what I say, because, it's all about us and building that relationship to ourselves. And I say working from the inside out, because that's what it's all about. People can get a hold of me through LinkedIn, April Wyatt, and also my website, livingwithintention.co. So I hope everybody has a beautiful day. Keep living with intention and shining your light.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Well, it is such a pleasure and an amazing discussion this morning again, which means we'll probably have to have a part 3.
We're going to have to.
This
Because
is just way too good.
The wise man said, parting is such sweet sorrow.
Okay, who is like me when you're like binging a show and you got like 12, I just got through Blue Bloods, and you have like 12 seasons and you get to, or 14 seasons, and you get to the end of 14 seasons and it stops. Yes. I'm just thankful with Blue Bloods it's going to have one more little stint in the fall, but now I'm like, I lost all my friends, right?
I love when one of the networks called it the show hole, right? I've fallen into the show hole.
There you go. Well, I'm telling you, it's amazing how we get connected to people. It's just really amazing. So listen, ladies, we're going to say goodbye for now. We are going to schedule a part 3. So hang tight in the green room, and just appreciate you both so much. And what a blessed way to start my day. Thank you so much. Hey, there we are, large as ever. Woohoo!
That's right. Large and kind of in charge.
Yeah, large and kind of in charge. There we go.
That's we like to get the illusion of control. Right? So,
well, Scott, listen, I want to tell you, we are going to continue to have challenges in this life. This is my positive way to end it. Everybody's going, well, that's a bummer. No, it is a true statement. But you know what? we don't have to focus on them. We don't have to accept them. I mean, they will happen,
Well,
and we need to accept reality, but we don't need to live there, right, Scott? We need to.
there's a book coming out by a famous author named Russ Hedge. There's a new book coming out, and the title says it all. What's the title?
Life happens, and then you choose.
Yeah, there you go. And be intentional. That's what we learned today.
Yeah. And everybody, I am being intentional about getting that all put together and getting that out. You know, I've been so
Mhm.
blessed with friends like D. Scott Smith who know how to help me with things like this. And my friends CJ and Susanna and so many friends and Lonnie, Ray, and who am I missing? I'm missing more. But anyway, who have just really been a blessing and helping with me with those kind of things,
Mhm.
because you want to be able to make an impact on people when you do these things. And the impact that I want to make, that Scott is saying, is for you to remember, everybody, life happens every day, but
Mhm.
then you choose. You don't get to choose everything that happens to you, but you get to choose where you go from there. Don't forget that. And with that, don't forget, we're here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook for your viewing and listening pleasure. It also becomes a video podcast and sits on those platforms after we're done for forever and beyond. I didn't say that right, but anyway, it stays on there
Well,
forever. And
it's forever and ever, thanks to ever.
thanks to ever. Yeah. Infinity and beyond. There you go. And finally, it also converts audio podcasts, so you can listen on iTunes, Spotify, all your favorite platforms.
Mhm.
And don't forget, real quickly, I just want to remind you, go to this amazing landing page that Scott created, local.theexperience.video. It will show you everything about this show, about our show, The Experience Local, Live with Russ and Scott. It's not just about our local area. It's about you focusing on your local area, the blessings, the believers in business around the world. They're integrating their faith and their family and their life into their business, because it all comes with us every day. So join us there. And then you can also go straight to our YouTube page at theexperience.video. If you'd like to just subscribe today, we'd love for you to do that. And with that, Scott, I think we're going to wrap it up for another
It's
amazing
a good day.
week.
I'm glad you're feeling better, Russ. I know people around the world continue to pray for you, and it's a blessing to be able to spend time with you each week.
Well, I am blessed too. I do want to show this. I forgot to show. This is the show we just had this week. And the reason I'm showing that, this is the other local we have every Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific
Mhm.
Daylight Time. So just want you to remember to tune in each Monday. And yes, I'm feeling better and feeling so
And I
happy.
watch that show, The Experience Local, with Tim, and get some great inspiration. Here is a young man who had a stroke and is recovering. I don't know
Yes.
if you're ever going to recover from that. And anyway,
Yeah.
it's a very
Yeah.
inspiring story. I encourage people.
Yes, it is very
Yeah.
impactful. And don't forget, it just solidifies that whole thing that I said. Life happens, then you choose. And next week, choose to be with us at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And until then, enjoy life and enjoy
The Experience.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.